Happy New Year to you, Colin. Just a quick chance to catch up as always. How are things for you?
Happy New Year to yourself and everybody else. All good, all good. Very, very happy with the way things are progressing at the moment.
Football, as ever, entertaining to watch. That doesn't seem to change, but I think the team, nice to see getting the reward with some results, clean sheets. Now they deserve that.
Yeah, they're doing well. I was a little bit worried about Saturday's game because we were absolutely down to bare bones, but the lads who came in were remarkable, and even losing two players during the game was a bit of a concern to me. But again, Andre Wright did great when he came on, and then Joel Taylor coming on, who's been carrying an injury, and so a little bit worried how he'd cope, but he did fantastic. So really pleased with Saturday's performance, in particular over all of the performances recently.
And the lads, and we've talked about it many times, but proved it still needs proving that they're capable of mixing it, which is great.
Yeah, I think people can point their fingers at us for that side, but I remember us going to Chorley in the playoffs and coming out on top with regards to the physical side of games, and I think that's this group will stand up for each other, and they'll get better at it as they get more experienced as well.
The management team, understandably and fair enough, won't use it as an excuse and never have. But the injury situation has been unique this season, to say the least. It would be nice in the new year to see some of them coming back, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it'd be nice to get people back. And I think we're getting closer to it. I think Joe, hopefully, will be available very quickly. So will Declan. Bradders will be available as well, and Vorney is almost there as well. So 4 players, 4 vital players. Joel is well documented. He's got a bit of a pelvic problem we're having to sort of cope with on a daily basis, but he's been very, very brave and very strong and coming through the pain barrier for us, which is great. And Manny picked up a nasty one on Saturday, which could have been far, far worse than it actually ended up. But he could miss the weekend, but he won't be much longer than that, I would have thought.
There was a very nasty photo going around of as you say, what that could have been.
It's the same guy that did Joe, exactly the same injury. So yeah, a little bit unlucky.
Talk about Fraser Horsfall. He said some very complimentary things about the progress and the future of the club, and why it was the club for him if he was going to, I wouldn't say restart his career, but with a view to moving back up, leaving Huddersfield in the Premier League to come to National League North. It was only ever going to be here, really.
I think Fraser kind of epitomises what we're about. He's taken to the way we work and the way that we play very, very well, and we've all seen the progression. And then to add someone like Jimmy O'Connor into that mix, who's helped his development enormously. Now we're seeing Fraser in a different light, and unfortunately so are most other clubs. And but we've managed to secure his services and get him tied down for 18 months, which is great. And I hope he progresses the way he's going at the moment. He's just brilliant to watch and a very exciting prospect.
Sam, still on the same note, news coming out today or this week about him signing an extended contract, another player that you're always going to look to keep.
What can you say about Sammy Austin? He's the most consistent footballer we've got. He loves his work. He's in every day. He doesn't want to go home. And if work rate and desire equals having a good career, then Sammy Austin's destined for great things.
It's important, I guess, to have that balance between not over-committing yourself to individuals, but also tying down enough of the group of players to have a solid base, I guess, isn't it? And those conversations ongoing?
Yeah, it's a mistake we made last year, wasn't it, really, let's be honest, and we were disappointed that we lost players that we thought that we were going to keep, and we wanted to tie the core down to longer term deals, which protects us in the transfer market if they get the chance to go and better themselves, but it also then protects us that we know that we're not having to rebuild a team that we've had to rebuild this year. You know, it's lessons learned, and I've had a long chat with the manager this morning about, you know, look, come and batter the door down if you think that we should be maybe tying a few more up or looking at, you know, in other areas, and you know, so we will do. I mean, as I said before, you know, experience comes from making mistakes, and hopefully we've made those errors, and we're far more experienced and more knowledgeable for it.
we're in January, obviously, which in the what? Someone put you off. Sorry.
Elton.
It's the main man.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll come in and take his interview.
We'll deal with him in a second.
Get in front of the camera. Come on, you.
In terms of the wider football world, obviously we're not restricted to the January transfer window, but it is obviously the busier time for clubs doing their business. In terms of us looking at players and in terms of interest in our players, what's the lay of the land currently? Anything to report?
A couple of inquiries. For a couple of hours, and we're trying to make inquiries for a couple of other people's, but nothing that's going to derail us, and nor will we allow anything to derail us from where we are at the moment. We're 2-3 days into a new window, but as you say, we're not really bound by transfer windows. Those inquiries can come in at any time up until the end of March, so we're fielding a couple of phone calls at the moment, but nothing that's going to change us dramatically.
And coming the other way?
We're mindful that if we lost a couple, we would like to bring in a couple that would strengthen the group. So we'll see. It may nothing that may materialise, and something may. But at the minute, I can only be talking about inquiries, nothing concrete at all.
And is it one of those where the football club in general isn't in a ransom position where it needs to offload players, but also needs to stay honest to the promise it makes to young players that if you get substantiated interest, it has to be listened to?
We have to. The model for us, quite simply, is that we will help these lads progress in their careers, and up to now, that's what we've done. So, we're not going to stand in players' way if it's the right thing for them and their careers, and we can't. Otherwise we're not going to get the next ones. What we need to be able to do is make sure that we get the right value for them should that opportunity come along, and that we're fully aware of where the replacements are. So the model doesn't change, it can't change, but we won't allow it to derail us in any way.
Just a quick word on Huddersfield. Obviously there's the situation with Fraser, and we've worked with them obviously with Joe Lolly in the past and all that kind of stuff, but they're a club I gather hoping to sort of in an informal basis just work closely together with, which is nice.
They're very excited about the way we play, and they've been very complimentary to the fact that we play the game the way they play it, and therefore the development of their younger players is enhanced if they come into our environment. And it's strange, isn't it? We're talking about a club that's a long way up the M1, and we have so many powerful clubs on our doorstep, but it's taken a club from the Premier League nonetheless, but they've come on a very, very exciting journey. But to appreciate that someone like ourselves working and training and developing and playing and having the same philosophy as themselves is more beneficial to them than us having a relationship with somebody a little bit more close to home. But it's something that's ongoing, and that you might see more Fraser Horsefuls arriving over the next few years, few months, who knows.
And in terms of the club generally at the moment, in terms of the season ticket offer, and if you fancy a mince pie and a bit of mulled wine, there's a lot of things going on. But you're feeling generally that there's a bit of a feel-good factor around the place?
It's a great feel-good factor about the place, and I think that the support on New Year's Day was amazing. And we had as many fans of our fans than Telford had in their home game, with 700 or 800 of our own. So I was delighted with the turnout. The atmosphere was brilliant. I sat in the East Stand with the family, and the people over there were great. And I just really enjoyed the day, and the positivity about the place is phenomenal at the moment. And it's been not a tough season. It's not unfair. It's been a more difficult season than most people thought it would be. There's no question about that, because of what we've had to do. But everybody has stayed very, very focused on their roles and their jobs, and now we're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and people are looking back and going, well, that's a good run you're on, and now we're starting to play, and now we're starting to see the fruits of our labours, which is great. But it's a long way to go. But I'm delighted with how everything's going at the moment, and how well it's been received by our fan base. It's been really rewarding, and then to do the mulled wine and a mince pie, and then to do the offer at the Southport game, where you're going to you know, if you're a season ticket holder, bring along somebody else for free of charge, and anything like that where we can give back and create opportunities for new people to come and experience what we're about. Then obviously that's what we'll be doing.
And away from the football, obviously, just to touch on the club in general, always very busy and similarly as positive as it is on the pitch, would you say?
Always very busy, and behind the scenes that everybody's very, very positive and very, very creative as well. That's the thing I like. I think there's a spirit and a bond at the moment. You know yourself now with the management group. It's a great meeting to be in. Everybody's focused, everybody's contributing, and everybody gets the overall goals and aims for the club and are playing their part in it and enjoy their work. I don't think there's anybody who comes into the club now that doesn't love coming into the club, and that's the atmosphere we want to create. No matter who you are, supporter, ball boy, youth team player, youth team parent, you name it, everybody who comes in here is well received and feels part of what we're trying to build, which is the overall objective.
Smashing. Well, we can't keep Elton waiting, can we?
I hope not. I don't know where he's disappeared to. He's probably driving Helen up the wall now as we speak.